The one thing we don't have enough of is time, but once every 4 years, we get an entire extra day. And with that time, I'm gonna write and record an entire song in just 12 hours. And I'm gonna call it Leap Year.
Seems like yesterday we watched fireworks on the 4th of July.
So it's currently 6 p.m. on February 28th, and from now until 6 a.m. on February 29th, I'm gonna be making a song completely from scratch. Now going into this, there's a few rules and ideas I want to abide by. Number one, the song has to be called Leap Year and it has to center around the idea of leap year. Number two, I want this song to be very acoustic, folk, and pop in the style of Noah Kahan. I've been listening to him a lot lately and I really want to get some of those influences into the song itself. And number three, I want to keep the instrumentation super simple. I'm thinking mainly just acoustic guitar, some vocals, maybe some harmonies and solos, and if there's time, some bass and drums. So with that all being said, let's get to writing. Okay, so we got our acoustic guitar here. Now, this isn't always the case, but usually I either start with a melody on vocals or a chord progression. And I think in this case, I'm feeling a chord progression. So I definitely want this to be like an upbeat sort of song. So I'm gonna try and have a faster sort of thing with the finger picking. Maybe something like that. So I was experimenting with some hammer-ons off camera and I was thinking of something maybe like this actually. Something like that. I actually have to practice it for sure. Now, usually when it comes to writing a song and I already have this sort of chord progression, I like to just hum along and kind of see what melodies come to my head. A lot of other artists do this as well, but it really helps me just like determine what I want the melody to be.
I've been running in my mind. I don't recognize.
I'm gonna see what I can work on to flesh that out. Maybe something in the verse can be like what I was saying about how there's never enough time.
Feels like we're running out of time.
Maybe. So I think in order to find the story that I want to tell, I need to start with the chorus and then work backwards. Basically, have the universal hook and then figure out how we got there. So far, I've got some sort of melody that I'm kind of liking in the chorus that goes something like this.
I wish every year was thinking so I could get back time. Love my life.
So I'm having a bit of a problem writing just because I can't decide if I want this to be a happy song or a sad song. And I think in my heart I want it to be a sad song, but I also feel like that's a lot harder to make this concept work. Okay, update. It's now 9 o'clock. 3 hours have passed and I've officially finished writing the song, structuring it out, got all the lyrics down. Honestly, I've never recorded myself while doing this sort of process and it was kind of stressing me out, so I had to turn off the camera for most of the writing process, but I feel like I was able to bridge the gap between a sad song and a happy song, basically combining feelings of longing and regret with wanting to make the most of the time that's still left. So I think that's kind of a happy compromise between the two ideas I had, and I'm excited to see where it goes from there. So here we have all of the final lyrics. Is how I started the song actually. At first I did all of the words that I associate with or think are similar to leap year. Then I went on to emotions that I associate with the theme and that I want to convey in the song. And then lastly, you wanted to create tangible elements. What are the physical scenery and imagery that you can paint? And two phrases that came to mind were February gray and salt on the sidewalk. And now that the song is finally recorded, I'm going to track the acoustic guitar in this room. So I'm just going to set that up. Okay, so this is gonna be the basic setup for recording the acoustic guitar. Basically, I'm gonna be sitting in this chair and I'm gonna have this mic. It's just a Shure SM58, very typical mic for live performance, picking up the guitar. And here with the mic, the goal is to get the room noise, kind of get some of the picks and natural sounds, really give it a more authentic vibe. And then at the same time, the guitar goes directly into this complete control audio interface. So basically, instead of having an amplifier, the guitar is plugged right into this little box that records it directly into the computer. So there, you don't get any of the room noise, which results in a really clean, isolated sound. But if you just use that on its own, it ends up sounding a bit empty. So I like to record the two at the same time and then merge and blend the two clips to a desired volume where you get a little bit of room noise, but you also get that clean picked guitar. Okay, so I've roughly tracked the guitar finger picked, and now I'm going to use an actual guitar pick and re-record the same thing and try and line it up as I can. I find that combining the finger picked and the literal guitar picked guitar really makes for a nice layered sound. Okay, so it's just about 11 o'clock and I just finished tracking the acoustic guitar rough. I think it's mostly there. Now it's time for a snack break.
I've been living in LA for about 13 years and I discovered surfing in 2017.
Okay, so it's currently 11:30 p.m. I just ate some ramen and basically I'm heading now to the actual studio where I'm gonna record the vocals, track some more guitar, some electric guitar, add in some other instruments, and basically from now until 6 a.m. when the song is due, I'm gonna be in that studio, staying up all night, trying to get this song done so you can watch it in the morning on Leap Day. So here we go. So welcome to the studio. Pretty professional looking setup we got here. I'm gonna be doing a sort of studio tour video in the coming weeks on YouTube, so be on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, let's get down to work, okay? To recap, we're gonna be looking at the acoustic guitar I just recorded, comping it together, getting a good solid bass instrumental. Then I'm gonna track some vocals, come in with some electric guitar and some other small elements to finish out the track. It's currently 12 a.m. right now, and by 6 a.m. this has to be done for the challenge. So let's get to it. Okay, so I have all the acoustic guitar tracks here. I'm gonna go through them and basically see which were the best takes and then mash them all together to get the best sounding instrumental I can. Okay, so now I've comped the finger-picked acoustic track and it sounds something like this. And it sounds pretty good, but it's got a little too much bass, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in and add some EQ, some compression, and maybe a bit of reverb, just to give it a bit of shimmer, take out some of that low end. So right now, you're hearing the acoustic track with the EQ on it. You notice when I take it off, you hear a lot more bass, especially if you're wearing headphones. So basically it just takes out some of that low end and makes it so it sounds less muddy overall. Okay, so I went and comped the picked acoustic guitar as well. It had some really nice body. I'm just using it right now in the pre-chorus and the chorus to kind of build that momentum and get it going a bit more powerful in the mix. So you can hear this is just the pick guitar like this, and then starting now, and there's just a lot more layers there because now you have two different guitars going on, and one was finger picked, one was picked. Currently 1:43 a.m. so I've been comping the guitars for, oh my god, almost 2 hours, but really it does take that long, so that's why you ideally try and get them as good as possible when you're recording them, but if not, you know, you're gonna have to spend that extra time to fix it, which I just did for the most part. So now I'm gonna track vocals and then we'll clean up the instrumental and the final structure. Okay, so right now I'm about to track some vocals. What I usually do is break it up by sections and sometimes even by stanzas, just so I can focus on getting the best take for each one. And then I'll go together, choose the best ones from each of all the takes that I take, and then go from there. Feels like we're running out of time. Seems like yesterday we watched fireworks on the 4th of July. Okay, so as I was singing, I made a slight change to verse 1 lyrics. Before I was saying, seems like yesterday there were fireworks on the 4th of July. Now I changed to we watched fireworks. I think that just makes it more active. Before it's so passive and just kind of, you're out of it. But when you put we watch, then you're kind of creating like a core memory that you have with this person. So again, just a small sort of fix, but it can really make a world of difference in the overall story that the song is telling. Okay, so update, it is 3:30 a.m. I'm not feeling tired, which is good. I got like 14 hours of sleep last night, kind of in preparation for this. But basically, this is not enough time. I'm realizing that. I honestly thought I could have a really good demo by 6 a.m. I think what I'm gonna have is all right. It's literally gonna be just like acoustic guitars, vocals, and maybe some harmonies, and just not nearly as polished as I thought I could get. I think this puts into perspective like how much time I actually spend mixing a song and fine-tuning it, because I know I spend hours and hours on it, but having this condensed into just 12 hours straight, I'm realizing how much time you do need, because so far I spent 3 hours writing the song, 2 hours tracking the acoustic, Now I've been in the studio for about 3 hours just tracking vocals and editing the acoustic guitars. And right now I'm just going through the vocal comps and trying to find the best takes and make a cohesive thing out of it. Okay, so one thing I heard was a melody in my head between two of the lines that was just like, ooh. So I recorded that as a stack with some harmonies and then put a ton of reverb on it to just kind of wash it out, and it created this amazing like ear candy effect that just really elevates the song. I just love like subtle things that can just keep the listener hooked, and this is one of them. It sounds like this. I wanna live life fast. Just that like washed out reverb, just really soothing, just keeps the listener like, ooh, what was that? And wants them to keep listening, if you know what I mean. Okay, so it's 5 o'clock, I have 1 hour left. I just recorded a bunch of vocal harmonies. They're really rough, not like super pitch perfect, but it definitely adds some depth to the song and really makes the chorus and the pre-chorus pop. So now with the little time I have left, I'm gonna track some guitar, hopefully get in some leads and some solos, and then that'll be that. So I kind of came up with the lead line for guitar that kind of mimics the chorus melody. So it's something like, okay, so it's 6 a.m. and the song is done. Thing is, it sounds pretty good. I tracked a bunch of rough harmonies and you can tell they're a bit pitchy, but you really get a vibe of what the song is and what it could be. And it's pretty catchy, if I have to say. I think the lyrics work pretty well. They paint a really good story, really captures the theme of leap year. It's kind of like a holiday song, actually. It's kind of like a Christmas song, but for leap year, I guess. I think that's an untapped market, so there could be something here. Lastly, if you've made it to the end of this video, that means the entire song Leap Year is out. I'm putting a little tiny snippet here so you can hear what I worked on, but please go listen to the whole thing. Let me know what you think, what you'd like to hear, what can be added. That if this song gets to 500 streams or 500 views on YouTube, then I'll go and I'll make a full thing. I'll post it on Spotify, Apple Music, and all of that, and I'll make it a fully fleshed out song. So yeah, check it out, listen to it, let me know what you want to hear. And I don't know, this was a cool experiment. I learned a lot, and probably, well no, I can't go to bed. I gotta edit this video. So future me, get some rest.
It's like we're running out of time. Seems like yesterday we watched fireworks on the 4th of July. Now it's snowing like December. That January weather is close behind.